It's winter outside, and you know what that means. Oh yeah, three-wheeler season. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Junkyard Digs. I'm your host, Kevin, and today we'll be toying with this 1983 Honda ATC 200E. A buddy of mine posted this on Marketplace last week, and I messaged him and said, hey, I'll give you $300 because that's the last thing I need. But this plow truck is kicking my ass, and I don't think I'm gonna have that video done in time, so I do need something for a video this week. Evan, what the hell did you bring us?
Junk.
And a pallet. Well, I'll tell you what, you can keep the pallet, I'll take the junk.
Your neighbors now.
This thing is completely abandoned looking, covered in mud. Looks like it got pulled out of a river, so it should be a perfect candidate for something on our channel. With that being said, this is kind of the first time I'm looking at this. I've walked around it a couple times this week. We're definitely missing a few parts. We're missing a back rack. We're missing a whole fender. But other than that, this thing seems to be in really good shape. Our tank is in excellent condition. Decompress is free. The throttle's stuck. The brake cable moves. It's just disconnected. So headlights here. These are usually missing on these when I get them. Oh, it's here for now. Our tires look excellent. One of them even holds air. Like I said, this is an 83 ATC 200E. Now what the E means is that this has electric start and, most importantly, a high-low transfer case. This was a utility unit, not so much a sport unit. Honda had a wide variation of three-wheelers back in the day, but general overview, they started very simple. You get a 185S, which was a kind of the sport one. It didn't have a rack or anything. You get a 185, which sometimes would have a rack, more of a utilitarian. I'll just talk about the large frames here. As they went on, they developed the 200, which you could get as just a 5-speed, no rack, whatever. And then the 200E came out in 83, which gave you the high-low transmission. And in 84, the one-year-only 1984 Honda 200ES came out, which gave you high-low reverse and shaft drive, still in this small frame configuration. Now, a lot of people, such as this one that was listed on Marketplace, list these as ES. They're a one-year-only, and if it doesn't have reverse, it's not an ES. They also had a neutral light alongside a reverse light. These do not. These are just a key. Then in 1985, 6, 7, they developed the 250 motor. These got even bigger. You get the 250 SE or the 250 SX, which is now a very distinct divide of two entirely different machines. The SE being for utilitarian purposes, had forward, neutral, reverse, all that. A headlight that came off, you could use as a spotlight, and all sorts of good stuff for working around the farm. These were both full suspension at this point. The SX had, it was the sport models. However, you could still get this chassis. The leftover ones were sold as the 200M, which was basically the same thing as the very first ones that came out, but now with the neutral light. Anyway, yeah, so there's a quick rundown on what we have sitting in front of us. This is the classic Honda ATC 200 Big Red with high and low. Let's make it run. So to start things off, let's take a little more in-depth look at this machine. Like I said, it looks like it's been in a damn river. It is dirty, probably one of the dirtiest ones I've ever picked up. But I'm seeing a lot of really good things. We have a fender that still has a big red sticker on it. These were the first years, the spout, the big red sticker on the back. I'm seeing the chain case cover still on. These are always missing. There's still a battery in it. Our air filter and air lid is missing. Someone took this fender, the seat, the back piece. The recoil is gone. Everything still seems to move. She's got some hours on it. The handlebars are completely, or the grips are completely worn off. Both of my handles are still here. Both cables move. That's good. You can see that one actually does stuff down there. The rear brake still seems to operate. This might be the first one I've had with brakes. Now, suspension seized. That's very common. Like I said, headlights still present. Our choke moves. Good. And our throttle's stuck. Now the big one. Oh God, what the hell? Well, if you don't come off, we're gonna have a bad time. Relieve yourself. Oh my god, okay. Oil filter wrench, maybe. There we go. That was actually a brilliant hack. Now you know, you can do that. Ooh, that's not what you want. Oh no. God, it's such a good tank too. That might be one of the worst tanks I've ever seen. Man. So our tank is definitely gonna have to go down to the pressure washer and see what we can do there. Looks like we might actually have a bit of a dent right here, but still overall really good. This thing's dirty as shit, but I bet we take it down in the car wash and it cleans up pretty nice. I'm excited to have another 200E. These are my favorite ones. This summer you saw us put together a few 200ESs on Cars and Cameras channel. I'll link that up right here. That was a hilarious video, a lot of fun. We took them down the river and rode them, and they're heavy. They're the same, they're the lightest reverse machine you can get, but they are a bit heavier. The shaft drive is nice. I still like these. Let's throw a booster pack on this and see if it spins. Holy shit, is that a battery tie down? I don't think this is to this. Alright, we've got power, let's see if anything happens. Hell yes, she spins, I love it. Before we go any further, do we have oil? We do. Needs changed sometime in the next 12 years, but it's a Honda, so it's not of high priority. Just a touch in there, see if it pops at all. We're just looking for a spark, the easy way. Holy shit. Oh my god. Okay, alright, I hear you. Here's some more. Here's some choke. I love Hondas. Yes! It's literally running! Oh god, I love these old things. They're just so easy. Okay. Well, let's get our tank off and see if we can get that throttle slide freed up. Chances are the carburetor is going to need rebuilt, but I can maybe do the old Honda rebuild. I'll show you how. The old rust bucket off. Ow! Son of a bitch. Alright, well, immediately I can see the petcock's full of garbage, so that's going to come off. Both of our rubber isolators are still here. Another first. Well, not a first, but very uncommon. We are to our carburetor, which is pretty clean. I would say someone's rebuilt it, or if we're unlucky, replaced it. Nope, it is an original key in. So that's good. I have no idea how to say that despite doing this for so long. Our top's coming off pretty nice. The tricky part's going to be getting that slide out. Okay, come on, don't snap. Just work with me. Sometimes you can get in under the slide and pop it up from below. I don't know if this is going to be one of those times. Take your time, do everything right, because if I pull on that too hard, I can maybe get that slide out. But if I just start yanking on that, chances are I ruin this throttle cable, and now I'm taking my switch up here, the throttle apart. I'm replacing the cable. I've got to spend another 35 bucks or go find one in a shed, and I've ruined another original manufactured part. So I just sprayed some PB in there. We'll see if that does anything. So far no. Wow. Well, as you can tell, I had to take the throttle shaft out anyway. I was able to get it down, or back, turned and down, which was really hard. And get a screwdriver in here and try to push that slide up. But it only went that far, and it's stuck. So, yeah, this is going to take some work to get this thing apart. Let's take it over to the bench and do it. This is definitely not a Honda rebuild, as I mentioned earlier, which I did that a long time ago in a three-wheeler video with Vice Grip Garage when he came and hang out with us for a weekend. Basically what you do is you take your brake clean with your straw on, and with this slide out, you put it down into the main jet, and you just let it rip. And sometimes that'll knock the shit out of the jet, or help whatever is in here causing problems dissolve. And then maybe rev it up a few times. Once it gets up to higher RPM, plug it off. And as it's spooling down, unplug it. So, and that helps pull extra vacuum into your bowl and pull your shit through sometimes. And especially with these old Hondas, then that's all you gotta do. Like that one we did in that video, still runs and rides today. And I've never taken that carb off. Literally what we did in that video is all that's been done. Another fun fact, if you can't get these or most small engines, as in all of them, started in the spring, take your air cleaner off and crank it for a little bit with that plugged, and it'll act as a very aggressive choke. Where see this one, it closes and it does pretty damn well on these, but it still lets air around, and especially with these vents right here. But if you create vacuum to where it's pulling into that bowl again, and besides just the choke, with these vents too, you create vacuum that flows down those. It pulls a lot of fuel up and it helps get yourself running in the spring without having to use any brake clean or carb cleaner or starting fluid or anything like that. It's quicker, good trail fix too. And if your shit's just running weird every spring, boop, done. Let's take this over to the bench and see what we can do. So generally in this part of the show, we like to tear apart a carburetor, show you guys what to expect to see inside and how to do it yourselves. But, remember what shape that tank was in. Well, everything runs downhill. I don't think we're going to be able to show you shit on this one today. I should probably just look for a new carburetor now already. Oh, Jesus. I still got to get the slide out. I was able to pop the needle out, as you can see, sitting in this nice magnetic tray that one of our fans sent us. Thank you, by the way, whoever that was. If you guys want to send us stuff, we have a P.O. box listed in the description. Alright, some time has gone by. I've got our carb body all cleaned up, as you can see. I still need to do the bottom. There's for comparison. That's some brake cleaner in there. Hopefully breaking all that crap down. Some went in my eye again, so that was fun. Anyway, I'm going to start reassembling this. I did find myself a carb kit, which for once I'm going to use, because why not? I mean, I got one. It'll be quicker than cleaning off all of these, which are completely plugged up. So let's make it happen. Ta-da! There we are. Should be fully rebuilt, ready to go. Everything is moving nicely. I dropped our slide in. He's all freed up. Got a new post here in the center. New jets, new screw, new bowl gasket. Ended up having to use the old needle and seat because that's totally the wrong design. And this thing would, I would let this guy down and the jet would literally drop out sideways and get jammed. I'm like, okay, well that's not even close. I also had to use the old clip for holding the needle into the slide throttle barrel because that's like a 1/4 inch too wide. So, I don't know, I still haven't found a good rebuild kit for these Hondas, and I'm a little nervous that this might run like ass because if I had to guess, that needle's the wrong shape and the jets are the wrong sizes, and I'll be back here putting these in a half hour. We'll see. If anyone does have a good resource for good rebuild kits that use like the original kind of style, or at least dimensions closer than this, shoot me an email, junkyarddigs1@gmail.com. I'd appreciate it. Let's go get this thing on the bike. Okay, as you can see, our carburetor's on, but I need to get this air box cleaned out before we can start it. There's nails in it. This definitely sat in a shed with this just wide open for a long time. Let's vacuum this out. Alright, that's good enough for now. Nothing loose in there anymore. We're going to take this down to the car wash here soon and wash it all off. So, yeah, we'll deal with the rest of that then. But for now, let's get a fuel line on this thing, get some fuel in the carb, and see if it makes noise. Pretty much any time you rebuild a small engine carb, or even sometimes big ones, that initial fill, the float likes to get stuck, and they love to start just pissing all over the floor. So, tap that bowl a whole bunch. What we got? Show me something. done any tuning to it yet, but I definitely need a little higher idle. Let's get a screwdriver and make that happen. Running a little weird at idle. What I just did, I'll show you. I'm going to close the choke very slowly and see if at any point it gets better. It dies. So that means if I add fuel, it gets only worse. So likely we're too rich. I'm going to go get a really small screwdriver and try to run that idle adjustment screw up in there. Tell that as I was doing that, it started getting higher and higher idle, running happier and happier. Now that our enrichment screw set, I can back our fast idle screw down. There we go. Now the next issue, as you saw there, is that it bogged. So as you can see, we've got our idle mixture figured out. It's running nice and smooth, sounds clean. It's not tripping over itself or popping out the back or anything like that when it's idling. It's very consistent, happy idle. To change that, we are messing with the idle mixture screw, which is on the front bottom of the carburetor. Best way to get to it is grab one of these bits that you get from like the screwdrivers you can flip and just go up there and play with that guy. Now, as you heard, I gave it a rev and it bogged and about died and then kind of caught up to itself. It's lean when I'm cracking the throttle open really fast. Now, the solution is to make an adjustment on our main needle. The way these work is there is a taper. It is fatter at the top than it is at the bottom, and this goes in a jet. Imagine a very small, tiny little hole right here that this guy's sitting in. The more throttle you give this engine, the further it pulls that needle out of that jet. And as you can see, the taper blocking the flow of fuel is smaller. Down here, there's nothing coming through this jet. It's all coming through this one, which is your idle jet. Once you start giving it throttle, it's pulling that needle out, and you're starting to get fuel flow through your main jet. So what's happening is when I stab that throttle open really fast, there wasn't enough fuel there right away, and it's bogging out. So to change that, we've taken this out of the carb. Very simple, pop the top off. Oh, goodbye. Very simple, unscrew the top, pull it out, collapse the spring down, or pull the spring off the side and collapse it down to where the little barrel slips through the side here, back through this hole. Carefully remove this retaining clip, unlike I did. Dump your needle out, and then you will be moving this clip. We want more fuel, so I'm going to make this clip lower to raise the needle in this barrel. It's now going to sit up a little bit higher. That will give us more fuel. I had a little bit of pop on D-cell. I'm bogging hard in the beginning. I've got a shitty, probably incorrectly shaped needle. I'm sure the jet's just as cheaply made. We're gonna give it all the fuel. Oh no. Drop that guy back in, put our retaining clip back in place, reinstall this back in the bike, and give it another try. What we're looking for is a good clean rev, and hopefully no popping when it's decelerating back down to idle. Okay, I am claiming that as done. That carburetor is set up great. That one actually dialed in really easy. I've had some of these, especially the ones that are not an OEM Keenan carb. They take me 2-3 hours to get them to run with the shit. We had that last year when John and I were working on the 125s. Another 185 had a aftermarket carb, and it was horrible. Do not throw away your original carb unless it's like broke in half. Even then, probably take the internals and put it in the Chinese replacement if they screw in and fit. Aftermarket carbs, never in my day have I seen one run half as good as a dirty OEM carb. I mean, look at this. let's get some air in these tires and then load this thing up in the trailer and go give it a bath. Will it take? Maybe. Probably should have turned the air compressor on. Oh, it said it at 40 PSI. What the hell? I got a bad Schrader valve? That's better. Alright, we got this thing kind of looking like a three-wheeler now. It's not down on the ground. I didn't notice all the shit it shot out of the exhaust. Let's plug up our carburetor so no water's going to get in there. And then, oh god, and then take this thing down to the car wash and give it a bath. There you go, girl. Time to get clean. Alright, we're done. Let's go. Put the camera away. It's probably getting wet in this. So I'll finish this up and we'll be back. Okay, so the three-wheeler's back at the shop driving. I just did a parts run to town quick, make sure we have everything we need to finish the day. On the way back, I had to stop at the storage unit and grab some plastics. Well, I see them, and it is a left side. It's just over there. Alright, so here it is, all cleaned up as promised. I mean, I guess pressure washed. We could still do a little bit to get stuff shining, but I'm not worried about that right now. The mud is gone, and that was what I was going for. The airbox is nice and clean. Battery tray is looking good. Everything came out pretty well. At the storage unit, I was able to find a few things. I think there's some more stuff here I gotta dig around. It's been a while since we did three-wheeler stuff, but I found a fender. And let's see. Yeah, perfect. I got a fender, a lid, and a seat. I'm gonna go dig around. That right there is a pallet of parts for three-wheelers from when we stripped a couple down. They were parts machines, so I'm gonna go dig around, throw a new battery on the charger, and we'll be back to put this sucker together. Oh, also I should mention that I finished cleaning out the tank. Pressure washed it out. You wanna make sure you're doing it somewhere where it's safe, like the stuff that's draining out is not going to go into a stream or drains to a drain that goes to a stream, because I'm sure the EPA would not like that. So I've got my location picked out that I do this at, but as you can tell, it's not perfect, but it is like that's metal, so it's a million times better. There's a bit of crud stuff back there, and our filter looks like it's not gonna filter, but we'll deal with those problems when we deal with them. So since I pulled this all out of the parts pile, it obviously didn't come with any hardware, which makes it a little difficult to put on. You can go on Amazon and buy these. This one's for like TRX 400s and 250s and stuff like that, but it's still Honda metric hardware. And there's pretty much all the bolt sizes they use, because nothing's really changed that much. These are great, keeps you from driving to town a whole bunch, / you can just have an ass load of extra bolts on you if you go trail riding. Spec Bolt Fasteners is the company, and I think I got it off Amazon. It's been like a year. Either way, let's go ahead and get these fenders and everything bolted up. Alright, we've got our petcock rebuilt. That was the son of a gun. Did some custom stuff. I don't know if it's going to work. We'll find out though. I also have a fuel filter in line now. We'll put our rubber isolators back on up front because we're luxurious with this build, and we have those. And random bolt. There we go. And ta-da! We'll tighten that a little bit. Yeah, that's important. And last but not least, the seat. There we go. This sucker is rebuilt and looking good. Fender doesn't match the other fender. but who cares? It was 300 bucks, and it's a Honda three-wheeler that should run. Let's see if that happens. Put some gas in it and hit the key. All right, gas going in. Let's see how much leaks out. All right, there's gas in it. I don't see gas on the ground yet. Is there gas in the fuel line? I put a clear fuel line on for the, oh, there is, it's flowing. It's flowing well. Oh, it's, hang on, it's backing up the line, the bubbles are stopping. The flow has stopped. The tank is working. Here we go. Oh, I really thought that would have done it. That was weird. I'm wide open. Is it flooded? I think it's flooded. Clear out, come on. What is happening? Okay, what did I change? I put the air filter lid on. Maybe the air intake for the air filter's plugged, and now it's choking out because it can't get air. Well, I'll say this is a first for sure. Oh, hey Mook, what's up?
Your Raycon thing printed.
My what?
Your Raycon thing printed.
I didn't tell it to print. I told that to print like 3 weeks ago. Fun fact, I'm even wearing them right now. I'm actually on the phone with Angus while I'm doing this.
Here's your Raycon printout. I stapled it for you.
What, did it print twice?
Yeah, this one's not stapled. That one's extra stapled.
I don't need any of these.
Well, too bad, you got them.
No, I got like 2 months yet.
You ordered them, you got them.
Oh, when I took it to the car wash, I put a plug in the intake so it won't get water in it. It's still in it. I can't believe that was running. It was completely sealed off. Well, there went 10 minutes of my life. I might have forgot there were no brakes and crashed into the snowblower. That's just part of it, folks. Let's get some brakes on this thing and go for a rip in the morning. Good morning, everyone. It's the next day, and it's time to go ride the three-wheeler. Last night, after we cut the cameras, I literally hooked the brake cables up and set the tensions, and we have front and rear brakes on this thing. It is like now one of the best ones we own. This is a first. I've never had brakes on a three-wheeler before that I owned. I did just notice that there's a bolt missing out of the exhaust. I'm sure that won't be a problem, right? Yeah, that's probably fine. Let's get this thing unloaded and go riding. It's muddy as hell outside, so this could be fun. Let's go find out. I need 2 hands here. Let's see. God, these things are just loyal. It'll be -10 and they'll fire up that easy. It's incredible. It doesn't even smoke. That's good enough. Let's go riding. Skirt. What's up, Mook?
It's muddy.
It is very muddy. What are you doing down here?
I was getting my little hecker out.
Getting your little heck? You gonna go ride with me?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Ta-da!
Oh, you're gonna drive the forklift thing around?
No. No, that's my little hecker.
What a damn.
Little Honda 125.
TRX, I think.
I don't know. It's my little hecker. That's all I know.
It was like 300 bucks. We bought it locally, put a different set of tires that came with it on it, and that's it. Check the oil and put gas in it every year. This thing's great because it has absolutely no suspension front or rear. It's basically a tall go-kart.
Yeah, it's great.
Tokyo Drift. Woohoo! She's a runner. Whoa! That was a lot of water. I didn't think that was that deep. Hi, Mook. Roughest ride on the west side of the Mississippi. Oh, you stinky son of a... Second rough ride. Actually, it might be worse. I don't know. How goes it?
A little wet.
Oh my god, look how wet. Oh, bouncing it. A tree. Can I do it through the water? High stakes. Oh. Oh no! Something's gone horribly wrong. Ah, ignition probably just got wet. We're good. I think I got a little more air in my left tire than my right. Alright, so that is going to do it for this week's episode of this three-wheeler revival here on the Junkyard Digs YouTube channel. This one, like I mentioned earlier, was a very last-minute thing that we threw together. It did still fight me quite a bit, and it's now like mid-Friday, and I was hoping to upload this in a number of hours. We'll see if it happens. Thank you guys for watching this. I hope you enjoyed. I really had fun. This is a good machine. I have two of these now that are identical. I like these machines a lot. They're probably my favorite model of the ATC, not only because one of these was my very first one, which I still have, it's just exploded. But they're also a little bit lighter than the shaft drives, a little bit cheaper, and easier to find. They're they're good. And the low range is great if you want to pull a tree across your property, throw it in low range, throw it in first or second, and away you go. Also great for pulling yourself out of holes in the river. With that being said, I'll get these washed up, put back inside where they belong. We'll get Mook washed up. And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Like, subscribe. We'll see you next week for hopefully some car content finally. Some good carbureted car content. You'll have to subscribe to find out. We'll see you then. Peace. God damn, it cold.